Hello and welcome to another video, you guys. Today we're gonna speculate a little bit. As you might know, earlier this year, around July, there was a leak that supposedly showed a new project FROMSOFTWARE is working on, and it's confirmed that the code name of this project is called FMC. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what are they gonna announce on the December 11th Game Awards. Are they gonna announce something? Is it about this particular project? Or is it about something completely else? Maybe a remastered, maybe a remake, who knows? This is what it's going to happen in this video. I will tell you my thoughts, and maybe you can write your thoughts down below into the comment, and let's go with the video. Tom is gonna put some, footage in the background, maybe from the video games or some other footage, some cool memes. We'll see. Does it work? We're gonna start with Dark Souls 1. Because Dark Souls 1, as you might know, was my personal start into the FromSoft, gaming catalog. It was my first Dark Souls game that I have played. In 2018, I started playing Dark Souls 1. I think it was around May, June, July, some summerish month that Dark Souls 1 Remastered dropped, and then I started playing Dark Souls and I fell in love with it immediately. I told you guys the story already. I do not think, even though I would like to see a Dark Souls 1 remaster or remake or whatever you would call it, because there are some issues I'm still having with this game, but I also understand it's like a work of art. It stands for itself, of course. But I would really like to see a remake of this game where you could lock onto an enemy, for example, and there would be more than 4 directional rolling, or they would tweak the bosses a little bit in terms of AI or how they behave, maybe add some attack pattern. I know that is really difficult and it requires for the game code to rewritten. I don't know how difficult it is, but I assume it's very difficult. But I would love to see something like this, It's not gonna happen. That's why I'm not gonna linger too much on this topic, but it would be nice, to see Dark Souls 1, one of my favorite games of all time, completely remade for us, the community. And that's probably something, that is not going to be shown on the Game Awards, but it would be nice. Dark Souls 2, jumping right to the next one, I personally think could happen as a remaster. I mean, Scholar of the First Sin released as well, obviously, and that is kind of a remaster. In Scholar of the First Sin, to catch you up, there were new enemy placements, new items, the Forlorn were added to the game, these random invasions. There's Aldia, and the 3 DLCs were already implemented into the game. And in Scholar of the First Sin, you also have to grab certain keys throughout the base game, the vanilla game, to get into the DLC. So it's a little bit more difficult, I would say, than the vanilla version. It's nice, of course. But there are some things I do not like about the game, and I think I would personally, love to see change and a little bit of a tweak here and there to make the game an even better game and more enjoyable. First and foremost, DS2 plays much better than Dark Souls 1 in my opinion. The gameplay itself, this might be a hot take, is just way better than DS1 gameplay. There's obviously the mechanic, the adaptability mechanic or agility mechanic, that you have to level adaptability or attunement to get your agility and have better iframes or more iframes to roll. That is a good mechanic because it's so unique, but maybe the majority of people would like to see it go and revert the game back to a more DS1, DS3 kind of gameplay where you have a fixed amount of iframes and the animations get changed a little bit, maybe in that kind of way. I mean, you can write it down below in the comments what you think about it, if you want to see ADP gone, if there is a potential remaster / remake, or if you want to keep ADP, new mechanics or movements maybe implemented into the game as well. When you walk around on Dark Souls 2, it always feels a little bit I don't know, ice skating. It's not as crisp as Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1 is. I don't know how else to explain it, but it feels a little bit like you're floating on ice or you're skating on ice, and I think that's something I really wanted to be changed. And new mechanics, I mean basically old mechanics, that you get iframes when you open a chest or open a door, you know. I know that they wanted the game more difficult and they don't want you to like yeet through areas or whatever, but I think it was kind of like a core mechanic of Dark Souls that you can open something and then you get these iframes, and it's, in my opinion, it's a vital gameplay mechanic that I want to see on DS2 again if they make a remaster or if they make a remake. I'm so stupid. I just killed the run. And the last thing I would like to see, if there is a Dark Souls 2 remake, guys, is that the comic-y kind of style is gone. So Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3 are just more dark and gritty and not as radiant and colorful as Dark Souls 2. And I think I want this like color and radiance a little gone or toned down, and it being less comic-y would really make the game a more Dark Soul-ish game. I don't know how else to say it. I think it would be more Dark Soul-ish if they would change it. My favorite remake or remaster, and I might be completely alone when I say this, would be a Dark Souls 3 remaster. It doesn't have to be a remake, because there don't need to be like many changes on Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 looks really good still. It also plays really good, so you don't have to make a lot of changes. Maybe tweak a little bit, like the graphics, of course, make it look better overall, and then change some tiny little things like the Covenant farming, you know. Everybody always complains, oh, I did platinum on Dark Souls 3 and I had to farm the Covenant items for like 15 hours, and maybe change that, you know. And other than that, there is not much you need to change on the game, but it's easy money for FromSoftware, and it would be nice to play Dark Souls 3 again when it looks like, you know, really, really, really good on the Demon Souls remake level of graphics, of course. That's what I personally would like to see, if you see that differently, you know. And then last but not least, I guess, Bloodborne, you know. Is Bloodborne gonna be the endless, you know, discussion? Is Bloodborne gonna be remade, or is Bloodborne gonna get a PC version of the game? And I don't think that's gonna happen. At least not in the near future. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think it's gonna happen. There won't be a remake or remaster of Bloodborne. There might be a successor, Bloodborne 2, at some point, or whatever you would want to call it. But I also don't think there's going to be a PC version. And this is also not in FromSoftware's hands, of course. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Miyazaki can't do anything as long as Sony doesn't give him the go, right? Sony needs to say, hey, dude, or FromSoftware, let's just make us a new Bloodborne, or let's make us a remake or whatever, and then they can start working on it. But this is completely owned by Sony, and I think they won't do anything until the new console releases, like the PlayStation 6, right? Because that would be one of those titles you could bring at the beginning. You could say, oh, the PlayStation 6 is releasing, and here's, by the way, Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne Remake, and then people will buy it. You know, I would buy it, of course. You know, I would buy the console only to play Bloodborne, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would do the same thing. Now we are done with the older games. We have to talk about the new IP, because this is most likely gonna happen this or next year. So December 11th rolls around, and hopefully there will be an announcement. Hopefully there will be. That would be my personal favorite, apart from like remaking, of course, would be a completely new IP. I know we got Night Rain this year, and we are going to get Duskbloods, which is an exclusive on Nintendo, of course, on the Nintendo Switch 2. But these are not the games I'm waiting for. Night Rain was nice, and I played it for a while, and I had fun with it as well, don't get me wrong. And Duskbloods is for sure going to be great as well, and I'm going to buy the console, and I'm going to play the game on my stream, of course, as well, because I really think they're going to do good work. But it's unfortunately first and foremost an exclusive, and it's a PvP game mostly, or PvPvE or something. And that's nice, and it's going to be fun for a while for sure, but that's not what I personally want. I want a new single-player IP, and I know they're working on something, so maybe we're lucky enough to get a trailer, teaser, whatever, on December 11th from that new IP. What would I like to see? I don't know. We talked about it on Twitter a little bit. There were some people saying that a pirate game would be nice, and I agree. I would love to see like a piratey, Dark Soulish game. Where you travel like islands or whatever, from island to island with like a ship or whatever, and you explore those. I'm not quite sure. Something like this maybe. Write it down if you agree or disagree. And should it be open world or more like a Dark Soul experience where where it's kind of like it's open, it's like an interconnected world, like Dark Souls 1 is interconnected or DS2 or whatever. If it's a pirate thing, maybe open world would be better. But if it's something else, then I think I would love to see like an interconnected, make it a little bigger than DS1 or whatever, but make it like Dark Souls 1 and make it interconnected. And I had a lot of fun with these games. It doesn't have to be open world all the time. Elden Ring is absolutely beautiful and I love the open world. They did great. But it's also so vast and it's so daunting, playing Elden Ring a second or a third time can be really daunting sometimes. I think that if they go back to the original formula, they would do great on it because they have so much experience with it as well. So I do not think it's going to be a Dark Souls 4 or whatever. That's not going to happen. Let's be real. But a completely new genre and not being open world, except for the pirate stuff, is something I would love to see. Write your thoughts down below, what you would like to see. What would your favorite FromSoftware game look like, the new IP? Do you think that it's gonna be, there's going to be an announcement on December 11th? I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's obviously a little bit of just like blurping out my thoughts. But it hopefully brings a little bit of discussion down below in the comments. That would be really, really awesome. And thank you very much for watching this. Also, check out the VOD channel. I upload daily now, variety gameplay. I started adding an hour to the stream every day where I play variety games like Metro at the moment. We're playing through Metro Redux. Metro 2033, great game by the way. And I'm uploading all the episodes to the VOD channel. They're already highlighted and cut down, so you only have the Metro parts. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as well, if you want to check it out, of course. Yeah, thanks for watching this video, guys. I don't want to ramble for too long. Have a wonderful day, and write down below what you think is going to happen on December 11th at the Game Awards. Love you, say it back. Tschüss.
Dinossindgeil, unkindled slayer of lords. Thine destiny awaits. May the flames guide thee.